Hello, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a 5 looks 1 palette video. It's been a while since I posted one of these, and today's video is with the Soft Glam Palette. Since the day I did my Anastasia palette ranking, I've been thinking that I have so many 5 looks 1 palettes with Anastasia palettes. But back when my favorite palette from Anastasia came out, I used to not do 5 looks 1 palette videos. So I never got around to doing a 5 looks 1 palette with the Soft Glam. And ever since I did my Anastasia palette ranking video, which, spoiler alert, this is palette number 1 right here, I thought to myself, I have to do a 5 looks 1 palette with it because they need to know why this is my favorite, right? Like, you need to see the different looks that I can create with it and the reason I find it so easy to use and the beautiful looks that can come out of this one, etc. So today is the day. I am doing a 5 looks 1 palette with this one, and I really hope to get you guys as excited as I am about this palette with this video. So if you like the looks, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up before you leave. I do tons of 5 looks 1 palettes like this one, usually with new palettes that come out. This time was definitely an exception because it is one of my favorite palettes of all time. So if you're new to my channel, please subscribe before you leave. Also ring the bell if you want to get notified every time that I upload. I can't wait to hear you guys' thoughts in the comment section below. And with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's get started with the first look with this Soft Glam palette. The first thing I did was prime my eyelid, and I used the Anastasia primer for that. I'm just going to tap it in real quick. And the first shadow we're going to use is Burnt Orange. I'm using it with an M518 by Morphe, and I'm going to put it on the crease of my eye and blend back and forth in windshield wiper motions around the eyelid on that crease part. And after most of the color is deposited and I have barely anything on my brush, I'm going to kind of extend it up towards the brow because I want things to look really nice and smoky, very blended. I'm going to do the same thing a second time to darken up the crease a bit with the color Burnt Orange and the same brush. Just back and forth, blend everything. And I went back a third time just to darken up the outer part of the eyelid right here. This is the first color on. This is what it should be looking like. It's a nice wash of color. It blends up towards the brow and it's the darkest right here on the outer part. Next, I'm switching my blending brush to an M433, also from Morphe, and I'm grabbing the color Dusty Rose. And I'm going to put that color right here on the outer corner of my eye to darken Burnt Orange a little bit and blend it into the crease as well. This M433 is a smaller brush, so it helps me so that it doesn't diffuse the color as high as our transition shade, but it blends it in with our transition shade. And again, I am just doing windshield wiper motions and bringing it all the way in to right here. Back and forth, keep blending. I'm going to do a bit more of that Dusty Rose shade just to darken the outer corner because this eye look is not going to be very dark. This is going to be as dark as it gets, and so I want that Dusty Rose color to be as pigmented as it could be. So I'm just patting right here on the outer corner, and if you need to, just go back with the first brush just to make sure everything is blended. Next, I'm grabbing a shader brush. This is the JH51 from Morphe, and I'm grabbing the color Sultry, and I'm putting it right here in the center of my eyelid, blending it into Dusty Rose on the outer corner, right in the center. I dusted off my brush on a paper towel, and I grabbed the color Glistening, and I am going to pat it in the inner part of the eye that I left open earlier just to brighten everything up. Blend it into the color Sultry, and then I grabbed a bit more of Sultry right here on my finger, and I'm going to pat it in the center of the eye once again. With your finger you can apply it a little bit more metallic looking, and so I sometimes like to go back and intensify things with my fingers a little bit. Lastly, I'm grabbing a bit more of Dusty Rose, and I am just making sure the outer corner looks dark. So I'm patting right there. You barely need to blend it at this point because you've already done all the blending work, so it should just intensify the outer corner a bit. Okay, and this is the top of the eye. I'm going to do my face makeup and I'll be right back and we'll finish it up. I'm back with my face makeup on and let's finish up this eye look. I'm going to use a burgundy eyeliner in my waterline. And with my E36 from Morphe, which is a teeny tiny pencil brush, I'm going to do the color Dusty Rose underneath my lower lash line from the tear duct area all the way back to meet with the top of the eye right here on the outer corner. And to smudge that out, just like we did on top, I'm going to use this blending brush. This is the M506 and the color Burnt Orange, just over the edge of Dusty Rose, or under the edge of Dusty Rose I should say, back and forth with a little tiny blending brush. Lastly, with my JH51 in the color Tempera, I'm going to brighten up the inner corner of the eye by tapping that color right there. Okay, I'm back with mascara on, and this right here is look number 1. Started with the second look. One of my favorite looks to do ever is a very dark brown smoky eye with only matte shades, and that is the look that we're going to do today. We're going to start with the darkest color first, and that is Cypress Umber, and I am grabbing the JH51 brush, which is a really nice flat brush, and with it we are going to press Cypress Umber all over our eyelid, really build its intensity. This is a really beautiful, rich, dark brown. One of my favorite browns that exists, basically. I love it. I'm going back a second time. Like I said, I want it to be very richly pigmented, and I'm putting it all through my eyelid. So as high as the eyelid goes, and also on the outer corner of the eye. This looks totally bizarre at first, but just trust the process and keep going. This is the third time I go in with Cypress Umber, just because I really want a lot of intensity out of it. And this will be the last time for now that I dip in. Okay. With the tip of this brush, I'm just going to soften the edge a little bit. Next, we're going to use a pinched blending brush. This is my Morphe M433. And we're going to go in with the color Burnt Orange. And we're going to take burnt orange through the edge of that matte brown. Back and forth windshield wiper motions. And I'm using this pinched blending brush because I really want to have control over where my color goes. I don't want it to like explode up towards the brow. I want to keep a nice bright base under my brow. So I'm going to very slowly start blending higher and higher until I get high enough but still leave space underneath my brow. Just with a dry paper towel, I'm cleaning off the brush, and I'm going to blend this top edge right here. And the reason I cleaned it off is because, again, I want to still have a nice light color under the brow. I don't want this to get out of control. Now I'm going to dip a second time into the color Burnt Orange, and we're going to once again start very close to that brown and blend that color Burnt Orange back and forth on the crease of the eye. So at this step, you can see that we have a nice fade underneath our eyebrow and a very intense color on our eyelid. There is a disconnect in between the two colors because they are such different shades. So we're going to go with a third shade and the same brush. And the color we're using is the color Sienna. I thought it was the perfect in-between color for those two. And we are going to once again put it right on the edge of that brown and blend it back and forth. You're not going to take it as high as you took Burnt Orange because the purpose of Burnt Orange was to get a nice fade underneath the brow. You're just going to kind of leave this color as close to the brown as possible, and I'm just blending back and forth on that crease of the eye with a very light pressure. Now that there's barely anything left on my brush, I'm going to go a little higher to blend Burnt Orange into the color Sienna. And at this point, I'm giving you a friendly reminder to step back from your mirror and make sure both of your eyes look the same and they're shaped the same and that the colors are blending kind of at the same height. The next step for now is to go back with Cypress Umber and repack it all over the eyelid, because we don't want to lose intensity from the color of our eyelid. Once again, with the same brush tip, we're going to just make sure it blends into sienna a little bit, and then with the blending brush, make sure that all of your edges are mixing together really nicely. Take your time with this and make sure you're looking back and making sure that your eyes are looking the same. I feel like even though this seems very simple, this is one of the hardest looks to do, because you want to get your blend right. You want things to fade the right way. So make sure you're taking as much time as you need with it. What I'm doing next is I'm going to grab a little cotton round, cotton square, wipe, whatever it is, something with a little makeup remover on it. And we are going to clean right underneath this edge. This is definitely a look that I will encourage you to do before you put on your face makeup, because then you're just going to be adding unneeded pressure to yourself, not wanting to get any fallout and whatnot. So I'm going to do my face makeup and I'll be right back. I'm back. The rest of my makeup is done and we're going to finish up this eye look with a very small pencil brush. This is the E36 by Morphe. I'm going to grab the color Cypress Umber and I'm going to drag it right underneath my lower lash line all the way to the tear duct area. I'm grabbing very little at a time because this is a very dark color and I don't want it to be out of control. So when I tap on the pan, I dust off as much as I can and then I go underneath my eye. Connect it right here at the end. And then with a blending brush, this is my favorite one for underneath the eye, the M506 from Morphe. And the color Burnt Orange, we are going to blend out that bottom edge and extend it all the way out here to blend out what you did at the top as well. I'm going to use a skin toned eyeliner to brighten the waterline of my eye. This one is Fake Away by Tarte. And lastly, with this other bigger pencil brush, this is the Smudger brush by Charlotte Tilbury. And the color Tempera, I'm going to tap right here on the inner corner of my eye, blend it underneath a little bit, and blend it into the rest of the colors on the eyelid up here. And that is a matte beautiful highlight to complete this all matte look. I'm going to do some mascara and lashes and I'll be right back to show you the final look. Okay, this is it with just some mascara. I'm using the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir. I did a light layer of it, I would say. I usually do much more. I'm going to do some lashes though, because I feel like this look is going to be better with lashes because it's so intense. So I'll be right back. Okay, here it is. Lashes are on. This is look number 2. I don't recommend these lashes. As you can see, they're not even on right, even though with my eye open it looks fine. So I'm not going to link these lashes below because I don't like them. Get yourself some nice lily lashes instead. Okay, let's get started with the third look. I'm going to use the color Rustic on this M433 brush, and I am putting this brush sideways on the outer corner of my eye right here, and I am angling this color upwards towards the end of my brow right there. And from there, I'm going to continue to tap the color inwards a little bit. I just want to have kind of like an angle up right here on this outer corner. So I'm swiping up very softly and then blending in a little bit. Once again, I'm building that shade up a bit. And with that same brush and the shade Rustic, I'm also going to deposit the color on the inner part of my eyelid right here. And I'm not going to go above here. I'm just going to blend things into where my crease is, just like that. I wiped off my brush on a paper towel and I am going to diffuse the edges of the color Rustic with the color Orange Soda. And with Orange Soda, I'm going to go across the crease all the way to the top of Rustic on the inner part of my eye right here, and blend back and forth in windshield wiper motions. And we're going to leave a little bit of space right underneath the brows. I want to darken up the inner and outer corners more, so I'm going to go back with the color Rustic and tap it on the same areas I did before. Again, on the outer corner, I still want to build it towards my brow, so I am flicking it upwards right here on this outer part. Okay, and as you can see, I made things a little darker. Next, with a flat shader brush, I'm going to get the color Bronze, which is the gold shade in the palette. And I'm going to start tapping it right here in the center on this section where we haven't done anything else yet. And I'm just tapping, tapping, tapping over that section all the way to the crease of the eye. Just like this. I did not wet that color. My brush is fully dry. This is just really beautifully pigmented shades working to perfection. Then I'm grabbing a very small blending brush. This is the M506 from Morphe and the color Mulberry, which is the very deep reddish shade in the palette. And I'm going to intensify the outer corner of my eye with it, and also right here on the inner part. So as you can see, I'm first just tapping it with the brush, and I'm going to start blending it into the color Rustic, which was the brown that we used before, and also make sure that it meets really nicely with the gold. And I'm doing all of that by just patting the color in with this blending brush. And I'm going to take it all the way to the crease here on the outer part a little bit, and again just kind of angle it upwards. And the reason that I'm not putting the dark shade high on the inner part and I am on the outer part is because I want my eye to look more elongated and lifted. Sometimes I do halo eyes that are more round looking, so I'll take the dark higher on the inner part of my eye right here. But this time I want the outer part of the eye to be a little bit higher. Okay, this is look number 3 so far. I'm about to do my face makeup and I'll be right back to finish it up. Okay, we're back, and besides my face makeup, I also went ahead and put on some mascara. Let's go ahead and finish up this eye look. With the pencil brush, this is the E36 by Morphe and the color Mulberry. We are going to shade right underneath our eye. Right here, very close to my lower lashes. I'm just going back and forth with that pencil brush. Just like that. Make sure it meets right here at the end with all of that work you did at the top. And then with our small blending brush, the M506, we are going to smoke that out with the color Orange Soda. I'm grabbing a shader brush with the color Fairy. This one is the JH51, and I'm going to put it right here in the inner corner of my eye. Now I do want to lighten that shade Fairy a little bit because I find it to be a little bit too yellow still. So with the same brush in the color Tempera, we are going to soften the inner corner a little bit more. You could also just mix Tempera and Fairy together and do this. Okay, next I'm going to get a cream colored eyeliner and put it in the waterline of my eye. This one here is Tarte Fake Awake. We are almost done. I'm going to put my lashes on and also my bottom mascara, and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back with the lashes on, and this right here is look number 3. These are still the same awful lashes that I don't want to tell you about. I'm getting my new pair of Lily lashes soon, hopefully tomorrow or the day after, and we won't have to deal with these anymore. For some reason they refuse to stick to my skin on the inner part right there, and they are only adhering to my hairs, which is not fun because they're going to make them fall off. But I did want to have lashes in this video. These are longer on the outside part right here, so again it elongates the eye. And if you're not looking at the fact that it's not sticking to my skin, they actually look kind of cute. By the way, on this eye they did stick to my eyelid just fine. I am very annoyed about it. Maybe I should show you this eye instead. Here we go. This is look number 3. Let's get started with look number 4. Step number 1, the color Orange Soda, and I'm using a big fluffy brush. This is my M504 from Morphe, and you're going to, of course, do back and forth windshield wiper motions and blend, blend, blend. Make sure to get back here if you have a lot of space on this outer side right here like I do. I always like to smoke out my looks back here. So then we're going to use a smaller brush. This is the JH33 from Morphe, and I'm going to first combine Rustic with Cypress Umber, kind of like equal parts. I tapped back and forth between the two colors, and I'm going to start on the outer corner right here and tap the colors in place, and then we're going to start going up and inwards and outwards as well. Start just doing windshield wiper motions with your smaller brush, just back and forth, blend everything. And if you need to blend further, grab your bigger brush and blend this upper edge right here very close to your eyebrow. And back with the smaller brush, we want no skipping. We want everything to blend out nicely. So go back, tap some more, and blend some more as well. I have not gone back with more color. This is just whatever color remained on my brush. Okay, and blend until you have it like this. I went ahead and just like went like that with my finger, so that's why this looks so angular, but I always do that. I'm going to switch to a flat brush and the color is Sultry, and we're going to stamp it right here in the center of my eye all the way to the crease area. Pat, 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 pat it in place right there. Next, with that same brush, I got the color Rose Pink, and I am putting it on the inner part of the eyelid, mixing it with Sultry right here in the middle of the eye, and just patting it back and forth. That color is so pigmented. I got a little smudger brush. This is the Charlotte Tilbury smudger brush, and the color Noir. I barely tapped in it, very little, because it's very pigmented, and I'm going to stamp it right here on the outer corner of my eyelid to deepen things up even more. Stamp, 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 and then I'm going to pull it up a little bit, just flick it upwards ever so slightly. And after you placed it down, of course it's not going to look the smoothest. We're going to go back with our smaller blending brush and smooth it out. Blend it into the crease. And I'm going to retouch Sultry right here in the center of my eye, because I feel like I lost it a little bit with the Rose Pink. And Sultry is a beautiful shade, and I do want it to be seen right there in the middle. And it's a nice transition from Rose Pink to the black. That Sultry is a bit darker. We're almost done with the top of the eyes. Just one more thing. I tap back and forth between Glistening and Tempera, and with a pencil brush I'm going to add them to the inner corner of my eye, and then we're going to blend it into the beginning part of the crease up here. Alright, so just like this, and I'm going to do my face makeup, and I'll be right back to finish this up. Alright, I'm back. I have some makeup on, and let's finish up this eye look. On my smudger brush, I went ahead and grabbed the smallest amount of Noir, and I'm going to put it just on the outer corner of the eye down here. And then with a very small blending brush, my favorite one is the Morphe M506 and the color Rustic. We're going to put a very small amount of the color Rustic on the tip of the brush, and we're going to swipe it back and forth right underneath our lower lash line. Go over Noir with it so that you blend it down and blend it inwards a little more. Back and forth with that brush. With that same brush and Orange Soda, we're going to fully smoke those colors out underneath the eye here. Lastly, I'm going to grab Glistening and Tempera mixed together one last time and retouch the inner corner to make it nice and bright, because sometimes when I do my concealer it gets over my inner corner a little bit, so I like to retouch it at the end. In my waterline, I'm going to put a brown eyeliner. This one here is called Mr. Right by ColourPop. I just found it and it's pretty old, so we'll see how that works. I'm going to put on some mascara, and I'll be right back to show you guys the final look. Alright, I'm back. Mascara is on. So this right here is look number 4. Okay, let's get started with the 5th look. I'm going to apply a different primer for this one. I'm going to apply Shadow Insurance by Too Faced, which is the same one that I used for look number 4. I totally forgot to say that. I was looking at the rest of my looks, and I've already used every single color in this palette. However, Mulberry should have its moment alone, so that's going to be the focus of look number 5, to give Mulberry its time to shine, because I really love that shade. I'm going to start with a big fluffy brush and the color Orange Soda on the crease of my eye. And I'm using the M441 from Morphe to blend Orange Soda up on that crease. I'm bringing it in all the way and just leaving a bit of a space right underneath my brow. Alright, and I'm going to also put a bit of orange soda on this outer part of the eye right here and blend it. So then with a smaller blending brush, this is the JH33 and the color Mulberry, we're going to start patting the outer corner of my eyelid here. Pat that color in place. And it is like a really beautiful reddish brown. I'm going back a second time. Sometimes when you have hooded eyes, you might be doing that and you might see like a space in the middle, like that one right there, or the bigger one that I just covered. So you just have to kind of close your eyes a bit more. And besides placing the shadow where you want it out here, fill in any gaps that you might have left because your eyes are a little bit more hooded. Okay, so then I'm going to start blending the edge of Mulberry with the same blending brush, just by doing little circles around the edge. I haven't added any more product to it, just whatever remaining Mulberry it has. And I'm just doing little circles around the edge. Then I'm going to bring it in a little bit, nothing on the brush, just whatever's left. I just want to get it nice fade in. So from the outer corner, I'm just swiping inwards. And that sometimes will create these little creases here, but those are very easy to fix. So the way we're going to fix these is with the bigger brush, just run it back and forth on that inner part right there. Nothing added to it, just whatever remaining color it had. And that should take care of those little creases. If you have any edge back here that you feel like hasn't blended away how you want it to, just run this brush through the edge as well. Very soft pressure. Now that I have the nice smokiness effect I wanted around my eye, I'm going to intensify Mulberry one more time, just on the outer corner, because sometimes in the blending process, colors can lose a little bit of intensity, and I do want it to look very rich and pigmented right here on this outer corner. Next, with a flat brush, I'm going to grab the color Bronze, and I'm going to place it on the eyelid, on this front side of the eyelid here that has no product on it yet. And I'm going to concentrate majority of it on the first half, and once I barely have anything on my brush, then I'm going to start to bring it back and pat it over Mulberry a little bit so that they blend into each other. Back with my small blending brush, we're going to push Mulberry forward a little bit, just so that we get a nice fade between Mulberry and that gold. Okay, I'm going to do some face makeup and I'll be right back to finish this up. I'm going to get the color Mulberry on a smudger brush. This one is from Charlotte Tilbury, and I'm going to go right underneath my lower lash line with it. Just back and forth, place it there, and make sure to go all the way to the outer corner of the eye here. Then with my M506 and orange soda, we're going to smoke Mulberry out, so back and forth with a small blending brush and the color orange soda. And then I'm mixing Fairy and Tempera, and that is going to be our inner corner highlighter. I'm going to get this eyeliner and put it on my waterline. This is the L'Oreal Infallible in the color Burgundy. Just like that, I'm going to do some mascara and I'll be right back to show you guys the final look. Alright, I'm back. This is look number 5 right here. I love the contrast between the reddish brown and the gold for sure, a lot. Let me know in the comment section from 1 through 5 which look is your favorite. This is look number 5. So that was all 5 looks with the Soft Glam Palette right here. Please let me know what you thought in the comment section below. I am dying to hear. Did you guys think it was a good idea that I brought this one out to play with it? I just figured it's my favorite Anastasia palette, so this 5 looks 1 palette video was long overdue. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you guys liked it. Subscribe to my channel before you leave if you're not subscribed yet. And I truly hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you back in the next one. Bye!